So if you're in this situation, what do you do? That's the first thing John asked me. And I want to be honest with you the way I was honest with him. We looked at every option. Sell while you're doing Airbnb, that's the worst outcome. The property is commercial, HST applies to the full price. In that case, you're out of pocket $150,000, assuming the numbers are similar to John. Okay, so you stop Airbnb first, get a long-term tenant, or you move back yourself and then sell it. Sounds like it should fix it. But the tax law has a trap for both of those. The moment you make that switch, CRA treats it as if you sold a property again, and whatever it is worth that day, that's another $150,000 in HST. So you haven't actually sold anything and you don't have the cash, but you've actually created the same tax just sooner, and you have no money to pay for it. So that puts you in a worse position. We looked at mixing long-term and short-term tenants. We looked at transferring a property to a family member. We looked at putting it into a corporation. Every path leads back to the same place. The moment the property changes from commercial to residential or from commercial to personal, a rule fires back and the tax hits. There's no clean way out, not one that's been tested, not one that CRA has signed off on, and not one that a court has approved. And that's what makes this so unfair. These rules don't just catch you on the way in, they trap you on the way out. Every direction you turn, and there's a tax event just waiting for you. The only thing a professional can do is to look at your specific facts, figure out the least costly path for your situation. The timing matters, the type of property matters, your personal circumstances matter. These are gray areas in the tax law that might create an opening depending on your facts. But that's a conversation, not a template that you can apply. Do not try to figure this out on your own. Take it to someone who works in this area, someone who looks at your facts, your timeline, your rental history, and tell you what the real options are. There are two completely tax systems at play here, the Income Tax Act and the Excise Tax Act. Most accountants work in only one. You need to know someone that understands both, or work with both of them that understand one each, because it is the intersection where people get caught. The sooner you have that conversation, the more options you have, because these rules were written over 30, 40 years ago for hotels, for commercial buildings, not for someone who's renting their home on an app that didn't exist. Nobody in the government has updated these rules, and Airbnb is not going to warn you either. They're sending everything to CRA while telling you they'll handle your taxes. Nobody tells you any of this until it's too late. Now you know. We're covering this in more detail in an upcoming podcast episode. If this video matters to you, make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss it. And if you've been doing Airbnb for a while and you've never had this conversation with someone who works in this area, have that now before CRA has it with you.